Hey guys, how's it going? Zach here at Twisty DIY, and today I'm taking a look at the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro controller. I'm a PC gamer who plays a lot of competitive shooters, MOBAs, MMOs, the sorts. Recently though, I've been playing a lot more single player titles and games that feel a lot better on controller. That's why I decided to take a look at one of the best controllers on the market and see what I had to offer and compare it to the budget controllers I'm so used to using. So this is the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro, and as a quick disclaimer, this product was sent to us for review but is not a paid sponsorship. I have no obligation to say or not say anything, so everything in this video is my true thoughts. Starting off with the packaging, the Wolverine V3 Pro is a licensed Xbox product, which is why it has the branding all over it. And to be honest, I'm not too sure what this implies, but I'm assuming it means better compatibility and support with Xbox. But, like I said, I'm using this mainly on PC, so I didn't look into it too much. Once you crack open the box, you're greeted with a hard carrying case, some documentation, and a wire accessory box. Starting off with the accessory box, inside is some stickers, a manual, and a high-quality braided 10-foot USB-C cable. The cable is especially nice since I feel like typically with controllers you get a super cheap and short like 3-foot cable, so if you're going down the wired route instead of wireless, this is a huge W. As far as the manual goes, the only worthwhile information is the warranty duration of 1 year and also a list of all the shortcuts to change RGB, volume, and the haptic feedback. In the carrying case, you have the controller itself, the hyperspeed wireless dongle, and 2 extra thumbstick caps. The 2 extra thumbstick caps are cool. They're very easy to put on because the thumbsticks just kind of pop off. They're not like magnetically held in place, they're just kind of like a little button that locks it in, so they're pretty easy to change, but they don't move around or come off without a little extra force, so you don't have to worry about them popping off. But honestly, I like the stock thumbsticks a lot, so I probably won't be changing mine. With the controller, you get a 1000 Hz polling rate in wired and 250 Hz polling rate when using the dongle for wireless. For my use case, I only use this in wired with my gaming PC. It's right next to me and it's just easier that way. I don't have to worry about charging it. So the latency and response time has always felt super solid to me. For the build quality, everything feels extremely premium. The thumbsticks are Hall Effect precision thumbsticks, which are anti-drift and have customizable sensitivity and dead zone in the software. They feel super responsive and have a good weight to them. These are personally some of the best joysticks I have felt. When you push the joysticks fully out as well, there's an anti-friction ring, which feels super nice as there's no resistance and it stays slick. The face buttons are Razer's Mecha Tactile buttons, and these feel amazing. As the name implies, they have tactile feedback, but they also feel super responsive and good to use. The D-pad is an 8-way floating D-pad, which is very unique, and I can see the appeal for certain games like fighting games, but for me personally, it probably won't see a ton of use. It just honestly will function like a normal D-pad. The triggers are another one of the cooler features. They have 2 distinct modes. The first is an instant actuation mode with 0 travel time to maximize input speed, so that'll be really good for, FPS games and that sort of stuff. And the second is your traditional analog control that just allows for full range of motion like every other controller. It's super easy to switch between the two. There's a button on the back, and just like everything else, both options feel amazing. One thing to know is that there is also 2 additional bumper buttons next to LB and RB, and extra macros and functions are always cool to see. I love having just extra buttons to use for whatever. I don't have a use for them yet, but if I ever need them, I have them, which is amazing. On the back side of the controller, there's 4 paddles on the rubberized grips. These are mouse click paddles which allow for fast actuation, and ergonomically, these are in amazing spots. They fit right under my natural grip while not feeling intrusive or uncomfortable. My only complaint with them is pretty personal, and that's the fact they're super light to actuate. For some, this is probably a huge benefit because, it's easier to use, but for me, it leads to me accidentally actuating them in use, especially for the bottom triggers when my grip tends to be a little bit more heavy-handed. As for the software, you can use Razer's controller customization software. I had that downloaded, but I didn't have the full suite of customization options, so I downloaded Razer Synapse instead on desktop, and that worked perfectly. Usually I'm an avid hater of Razer Synapse since it's caused me a lot of headaches in the past, and it still does, but as far as it goes for customizing the controller with it, it works perfectly. It's very straightforward and allows for customization of the triggers, extra bumpers, RGB, haptic feedback, and a few other things. You just want to make sure you're in the right mode before connecting by pressing the circle middle button, this menu button, and A to swap between Xbox and PC mode. For battery life, it claims to get 20 plus hours per charge. As mentioned, I intend to, and have only used it in wired. But I did a 2-hour gaming session in wireless mode on haptic intensity of 3 and full brightness for RGB, and was at about 90-ish% battery at the end of it. So the 20-hour claim checks out in my quick one-time testing. Now that I've kind of covered all the nitty-gritty specs and information of the controller, I'm going to yap about my personal experience with it. As a PC gamer, the customization options to bind the extra paddles and bumper buttons to keyboard keys is probably my favorite feature. One thing I hate about playing RPGs like Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, things like that on controllers is how the controllers feel clunky. To swap to a certain item and use it or open a specific menu can take 4 to 5 inputs. But with the remap ability, I can change the keybind in the game settings to like F4 and bind a paddle to that, which really improves the experience. And as far as competitive gaming goes, I use this to play Rocket League and has really changed the experience for me. For reference, I'm not a crazy high ranked player. My rank is champ 2, but honestly I deserve high diamond. Playing Rocket League with this controller though made me realize how snappy this thing really is. My inputs felt a lot less muddy for lack of a more technical term, and everything just felt more responsive. Plus the extra paddles, as I mentioned before, I was able to remap to like arrow left, arrow barrel right and be able to really up my gameplay. And for the build quality, this thing is built tough. I know I've said everything is super premium and feels good, but it's also held up some abuse. I have a cat who loves knocking stuff off my desk, and this controller is a prime target. It's taken a lot of tumbles, but hasn't shown any signs of damage, which is honestly surprising to see. I've had budget controllers that have shown issues after dropping once or twice, but this thing is held up strong. Not to mention if I ever rage, I don't have to feel bad about chucking it across the room. So as a PC gamer who mainly uses mouse and keyboard, I've been using this controller for close to 3 weeks now and I haven't found a single issue or fault. I haven't put this thing through the absolute ringer with, 12-hour gaming sessions daily for 3 weeks, but in my time using it, it's been perfect. While $200 is a steep price for a controller, it seems well justified in the build quality and features you get, and I can imagine this controller is going to hold up for a long time. The only problem I've had is the Razer Synapse app as a whole. I mean, the thing is just clunky, and when running in the background, it causes some performance issues in my use case. It also likes to randomly minimize my games with weird notification updates on occasion, and there's a few other nitpicks I have with it, but that doesn't impact my view on the controller too much since the software can be avoided and closed. So overall, I would highly recommend this controller to any PC gamer wanting something premium and high quality. It works super well on PC and just checks all the boxes when it comes to features with the Hall effect joysticks, rapid triggers, customization options, and more. Coming from cheaper controllers from companies like Games or an EasySMX, you can definitely notice the difference in quality and features. With cheaper controllers, stick drift was almost a guarantee past a certain time frame, and all the face buttons and triggers just felt stiff and crunchy in comparison to the Wolverine. I'm sure there's plenty of good budget controllers out there, but even the best budget controller I've used, like the 5 Vader 4 Pro, can't really compare to the Wolverine V3 Pro. Like, it was still a really good controller for the price, but the Wolverine just surpasses it in features and build quality. But that honestly should be the case with the difference in price considering the Wolverine's $200. That pretty much wraps up my review and thoughts of the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro. And if you have any questions about this controller, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer them, and I hope you enjoy this video. Be sure to sub for more content and check out the description for links to this controller if you're interested. They are affiliate links and will help us out. Thanks for watching, and peace out.